get us a French Bulldog.
Oh, I know. Well, like the funny thing was, we went and got Reed. We're literally at my family's in Mississippi, and she calls me. She's at a flea market with my aunt and my, God, what do you call it? My cousin's soon-to-be wife. So what would she be? My cousin-in-law? I don't know what you would call that. But she calls me, and I had asked her, I was like, do you want to get another dog? Like, I'm down to get another Frenchie to go with Millie. And she's like, no, that's too much. And I'm like, all right. Since she calls me from the flea market, she's like, I want this dog. So I was like, all you did was tell me you didn't want, but she's like, but this one's perfect, whatever. So, of course, getting it, I was like, and Merry Christmas.
So? Leave it to my son.
It was all I could do to keep from getting a French Bulldog when my son played with Millie. Yeah. If he goes and plays with Millie and Manny, it's a wrap.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like, I told her, go buy something cool at the flea market.
Mission accomplished.
Technically, she bought something real.
Speaking about something cool, y'all ready to see that movie tonight?
I can't wait. I really
We get to see the premiere tonight. Lady Ballers drops this Friday. We're going to show the trailer again. It's gone absolutely viral. I'm shocked the amount of positive reaction.
I am
just
too.
Like overwhelmingly to it.
That's what happens when you make good stuff.
That's exactly right. So we're interested to see it. Ohio State drops to number 6 in the latest college football playoff ranking. We're going to go over every scenario. Deadspin targets a kid cheering on the Kansas City Chiefs. Cone's going to get him off his lawn. And we're going to grade each one of the new college football coaching hires, including an offensive coordinator that's starting up the motorcycle once again in Arkansas. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to the sports show that's taking over the globe. It's Crane & Company. Somebody get excited. Now, yesterday, unless you were living under a rock, you saw the second-to-last college football playoff rankings that came out. The committee released it yesterday evening. And to be honest with you, it's really their last freebie going into conference championship week. A lot of it is going to work itself out. But there is one death scenario that I know the committee does not want to have to deal with. If Florida State wins and Michigan wins, and then Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC Championship, and Texas wins, we are going to have a huge one-loss team for the final 2 spots problem. Now, if you look at yesterday's college football playoff rankings, Georgia was 1, Michigan was 2, Washington 3, Florida State 4, which makes sense. Those are the 4 undefeated teams. Then you have Oregon at 5, Ohio State, who didn't win their division, not playing in their conference championship game, at 6, with their only loss to Michigan on the road, Texas at 7, and Bama at 8. Those are really the teams that have a chance to make the college football playoff, 1 through 8, which makes you think, man, that 12-team playoff, that'd be a hell of a situation this year. But if Oregon beats Washington, that gives Washington 1 loss along with Oregon. Ohio State is not playing. Texas would be 12-1 with a win over Oklahoma State. And if Bama beats Georgia, Georgia and Alabama now both have a loss. Well, obviously, an undefeated Michigan and Florida State would be in, so there's 2 spots left. I don't think Oregon would drop after beating number 3 Washington, so let's say they're in. That leaves you with Ohio State, Texas, and Alabama. Now, since Ohio State didn't even win their division, you would think that a win over Georgia would boost Alabama ahead of them. Texas winning the Big 12 would boost them ahead of Ohio State, giving them 12 wins as well. Then it comes down to Oregon, Texas, and Alabama, and then Washington, who, don't forget, would be 1-1 against Oregon after having lost the Pac-12 championship game, to see who would make the Final Four. Boo Corrigan and them want this easy. Now, the easiest thing you might say would be, well, the 4 undefeated teams just win. And they would have to put them in, you would think. But to avoid all controversy, the opposite side of the death scenario is if Georgia wins, Michigan wins, Washington wins, and Texas wins. That would go ahead and take out Oregon. They would have 2 losses. Bama would have 2 losses. Texas would then jump Ohio State and Florida State to become that 4th team with really no controversy. But where's the fun in that? We know it's going to be nuts. It's basically the Joker from The Dark Knight. And speaking about the Joker, well, he's really our version of Harvey Dent before he went Two-Face. David Cone, former Michigan quarterback, my brother Blaine Crane, former Western State Colorado.
I don't
wide
need a cool intro, I guess.
Receiver.
Awesome.
Well, I mean, you're like Penguin.
It's like, David, fell from the heavens. Harvey Dent is amazing. And here's my brother from Western Colorado.
Yeah, and here's Alfred.
It's awesome.
But David.
Alfred.
David, we did our own top 10.
Yeah.
Right? Me and yours were very similar. The only difference is Alabama and Ohio State with both of us. Number one, your thoughts on the rankings last night from the committee, and what do you think is the perfect top 10?
Is this not the most fitting way to have the final 4-team playoff in college football? Like this is unbelievable. We have 4 undefeated teams right now, all from different conferences that aren't going to play each other. We could have 4 undefeated Power 5 teams play in the college football playoff. That is truly incredible. And my biggest argument against playoff expansion years ago was that, hey, we haven't even seen one scenario yet where more than 3 teams can win the national championship.
We got 8.
We have 8 right now, and honestly, if it goes scratch and Georgia, Michigan, Washington, and Florida State all make it in, which I think is what should happen, you have 4 undefeated teams, it get made simple, put a bow on it. 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9 and 10, I do think could beat Florida State without Jordan Travis. That's what I think. But I also thought LSU would beat them earlier in the year. I also thought Alabama would beat Texas. So you can only run that experiment so far. I just think we all need to sit back and enjoy the process. We do have 1 week left. We're going to get 1 verse 8. We're going to get 3 verse 5. At least 1, maybe even 2 of these teams are going to get left out who have a legitimate argument to make that they're the best team in the country, and I hate that. But I think part of the sting will be lessened knowing that we're going to expand the playoff next year.
No, and I hope this is the new normal. Like, I hope this year isn't the anomaly.
Good for college
I do not want to go back to we only have 3 teams that can win the whole thing, and now we have 12 in there, even though it's just hard for me to think in a tournament-style play, just like we see in the NCAA tournament in basketball, even though basketball and football are totally different, maybe this parity can translate over and we see those upsets early. But I just think about these matchups and you run out the ground ball on if this was a 12-team playoff. Look at those 12 teams. I mean, can you imagine Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Missouri? I mean, even Penn State, as offensively deficient as they are. And then we'd be arguing about, hey, going into this last week, how big of a game would this be for Louisville? Sitting there at 14 with a chance to make the 12-team playoff. You look at Oklahoma being able to sneak in there. Blaine, when you look at Ohio State, we disagreed a little bit on where Ohio State should be. You had it exactly as the committee had it, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I did. When we sent these before this came out, so everybody knows. Now that it's the same as committee, I feel like I did something wrong. Because these guys have been wrong at every step. But I feel like Ohio State's right at 6. I mean, look, you have the best loss. You lost a 1-possession game on the road against one of the top 2 teams in the nation. And, you have the right now ranked toughest schedule in college football. So I think 6 is fine. And I think with Alabama and Texas, if they both win their conference, you will jump Ohio State. I think that's obvious. I think teams should get celebrated winning a conference, and also they should get punished for not winning a conference. And I think both those should equal out. So I do think Ohio State's fine sitting at 6.
I don't think Ohio State has a good chance to get in at all. I think there's a very narrow path. My question is, you have Penn State over Missouri at 10. I know Penn State's 2 losses are to Ohio State and Michigan, but do you think if Missouri played Penn State on a neutral site, you'd probably bet Missouri, wouldn't you?
I mean, yeah, but I feel like it'd be probably a field goal spread.
I don't know.
It'd be a pick-em.
I just don't believe in Penn State.
It wouldn't be I believe in Penn State's defense. That's what I believe. Penn State can run the football. I believe they have 3 guys going probably first round on their defense, even up front. So I feel like that's not a game. There's not enough separation in that game. Hell, you can say, they got Ole Miss at 11.
I put Ole Miss in front of both of them.
I mean, Ole Miss's losses to Georgia, and Alabama.
Both on the road.
I think Ole Miss has the 2 best losses.
There's an honest conversation you can have about Ole Miss, Missouri, and Penn State.
Yeah, well, we want to know what you think. Let us know. Again, it's going to be interesting. It may work itself out and make it easy on the committee. I know that's what they're hoping. But deep down, don't we want chaos? Don't you just want it a little bit? Some men just want to watch the world burn. I want to see it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Also, we want to show you, if you haven't seen it already, our trailer for Lady Ballers. Because remember when we were allowed to laugh at things that were absurd? Instead of having to say that they aren't absurd at all and that in fact, they're good and you're a bad person if you think otherwise. Back when Hollywood could make comedy films like Dodgeball are wedding crashers, are Tropic Thunder without having to toe some politically correct line? Well, here at the Daily Wire, we're tired of not laughing. And this Friday, we're dropping the most triggering movie of the decade so far because it makes fun of what's stupid. It's a sports comedy about the craziest thing that ever happened to sports. Grown men who cannot beat other grown men, calling themselves women, then absolutely dominating girls who spent their entire lives training to be the best at what they do. Here's a look at the official trailer that's gone viral for Lady Ballers. Play that beautiful footage. This one's hilarious.
In a world where women's sports is being transformed, the Daily Wire calls foul with the most triggering comedy of the year.
Guys, this is serious. Sports can be your pathway to a better life.
Well, like yours?
Please don't steal my catalytic converter again. Winning matters. It's the key ingredient in becoming a winner.
Maybe you should try it sometime. Are you gonna move?
I am not.
Let's cut to the chase. I know you're not a woman.
Hey, you know how he identifies.
If you can beat them,
What do you know about the U.S. Opens for the Global Games?
You want us to compete as women. $5,000 prizes.
My lover says you were a great coach back in the day.
join them.
This is the way the world is now. My 8-year-old daughter told me all about it. So a guy can become a girl with no physical changes at all.
Oh, that's called gender fluid.
So I can be a woman on the court and a man in the bedroom. I can't believe it. Nice.
You mean when you're sleeping?
Yes.
Coach,
Alex, we could play basketball.
we have to get the whole team back together.
It's time
We're in.
I'm in.
I'm in.
to play
Lady Ballers.
Man up.
like a girl.
I'm with her. Believe in my truth. This is my truth.
From heroes
Day one of being a girl athlete. I love being a girl.
to sheroes.
We could dominate every woman's sport. Running, swimming, soccer. I said sport, Felix!
It's ladies basketball, boys. Nobody watches.
Excuse me. Are these seats open?
Never mind.
Getting dunks. And tucking trunks.
No, she didn't. That's the biggest I've ever seen on a lady.
I don't care.
Lady Ballers.
One can even be trans age now, which provides Sheelix with a wonderful opportunity to relive all the experiences that she missed out on in school.
Streaming exclusively on Daily Wire Plus December 1st.
But you can only watch Lady Ballers with a Daily Wire Plus membership. Join the Daily Wire Plus team and get $50 off your new membership right now. Go to dailywire.com/subscribe to sign up for exclusive access. Don't miss the Lady Ballers live premiere event on the Daily Wire Plus Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's December 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. We're super duper excited. We get to see it tonight.
Can't wait,
with
y'all.
the premiere. I can't wait to see the whole thing. There's so many funny parts that aren't in the trailer. We're just super excited. But let's get back to college football. What's going on in the Boost Club over there?
All right, let's go to Chris. Hashtag Ask Cranny Code. That would be us, fellas. Says, is Alabama being ranked at 8 makes it impossible to jump UGA to get in the playoff? Personally, I think they put Bama at 5 and GA at 6, leaving no SEC team in the playoff.
The scenario of the SEC being left out, it's not, the question is, the question isn't, is it a possibility? I think it is a possibility with what happens. And Alabama has to beat Georgia, obviously. But if Alabama were to beat Georgia, let's bring the top 10 that the committee dropped last night up again. Let's bring that graphic up one more time to have a little frame of reference here. Alabama beats Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Michigan wins. Washington wins. Florida State wins. Those three teams are in. They're undefeated, right? So then it becomes Oregon's out with 2 losses in this scenario. Ohio State is 11-1, right, without playing in their conference championship. It comes down, in my opinion, to Texas or Alabama. Mm-hmm. And in that scenario, you have to go with the head-to-head, and Texas. Head-to-head has to matter. I don't care. And if you're an Alabama fan, I get it. You want your team in. But deep down, you know head-to-head has to matter. If the cases were flipped and Alabama had beat Texas and this was an opposite scenario, you would be screaming that head-to-head matters. So if you take the bias out of it, if you're neither Texas nor Alabama fan, or you happen to be a logical fan, which there's about 17 of those walking around the planet, you have to look at head-to-head. The whole regular season has to matter. Now, the question is, will they do that? Yeah. Will they keep the SEC out? Because if Washington wins and they're undefeated, you almost have to keep them in. But you brought up them leaving Florida State out because of Florida State's quarterback. I don't think they do that. I think if there's one conference that they would say, you know what, screw you guys, what are you going to do about it? It's the Pac-12, because there is no more Pac-12.
It's the Pac-12, and I hate it. I mean, you can look at strength of schedule. Here's how I had it last night, and I thought about this for a solid hour, and there's just no.
Did you stare out your window into the woods?
I did. It was a beautiful mind situation, and still not coming up with the right answer, because there's no way, especially when we're talking about 5, 6, 7, and 8 here. We already had a problem with Oregon, Texas, and Alabama with only one head-to-head that sort of helped us. Now you throw the Buckeyes into that mix, and it sort of makes it even more difficult, because when you're looking at what I did was I ranked basically strength of schedule, okay, with the best loss and your best win, plus the eye test. That's the only way you can do this, because if you're looking at those 4 teams, Alabama has the best strength of schedule, right? But they also have the worst loss. You're the only one of those 4 teams that lost at home, and you're the only one that lost by double-digit points, where at least Oregon and the Buckeyes both get to say we lost to teams that are ranked ahead of us right now. So what I did was I put Texas at 5 ahead of Oregon, saying that their losses are very similar. Okay, you lost on the last possession to a rival team. Oregon's is a little bit better because it was a true road game, but I'm giving Texas the benefit there with the strength of schedule. I moved Ohio State back to 8 right now, or I moved Ohio State back to 7, one spot ahead of Alabama, just with the thinking that if Alabama beats Georgia like you're talking about, that would give them the best win in the country. Right? Like that gives you the best win in the country. And I think that other teams, they're playing each other ahead of you. They would then come back. I get that, you can't move Georgia all the way from 1 back to like 9 or something, but you would have to give Alabama the benefit of the doubt after you've given Texas the benefit of the doubt in that head-to-head.
No, I agree. My top 10 and your top 10 was exactly the same, except I had Bama at 7 and Ohio State at 8. It was different. That's not correct. That was the only thing that was different in R2. But my thing is Ohio State can't really move up, right? They have no way to control their own destiny and move up. So all that could happen is teams go above them, right? So Alabama wins, they go above them. If Georgia loses, I don't think they're dropping to Ohio State's level or, below Ohio State, if that makes sense, because they did make the conference championship game, and Ohio State didn't even win their division. All right, remember, if you donate, your question gets asked first. Going to get right back to the chat, but we all know 2024 is right around the corner. I can't believe it either. It's amazing how fast the year goes, and there's no better time to get ahead and start your New Year's resolutions than now, even though we know you're not going to keep them, but we have a secret, all right? Fitbod. Okay, walk with me here. Let's take a walk through the garden. Everybody knows that working out is full of positives. You sleep better, you look better, and you just feel better, right? You get stronger. Sticking to the same routine can lead to a plateau in results. People get bored. Even when you see results, people get bored. You got to mix it up, right? Well, what do they say in dodgeball? You got to keep the body guessing. That's exactly what you have to do. So get your momentum going with Fitbod. It's an app that creates personalized workouts based on your goals, abilities, and gym setup while helping you track and visualize your progress along the way. People say, Jake, David, Blaine, how did you lose this weight for the film and do all this stuff? With Fitbod, because it made it fun. I didn't go in there knowing or having to drive to the gym and say, I'm going to do the same thing that I've done on every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I'm going to go do the same thing I've done on every Tuesday, Thursday. Fitbod makes it fun, and it learns from your previous workouts and adapts as you improve. It switches up the exercise to avoid overtraining, and it understands what you're using. Whether you're in your living room, whether you have a home gym, it doesn't matter. So learn the new movements the right way with over 1,400 HD demonstration videos. Keep up your fitness habit with a personalized workout program from Fitbod and get 25% off your subscription, or try the app for free. Listen to me here now. Fitbod.me/booster. That's FITBOD.me/booster. Check that out for that 25% off deal. I'm telling you, it's worth it. And also, we have new hoodies in the merch store. All right, we have candles, all type of stuff. We're adding new stuff every day. There's going to be Lady Ballers merchandise that's coming out as well. We're going to put the link in there. That helps out the show even more than donating in the YouTube chat. We really appreciate you guys. We've sold a lot of them already. We want to be able to restock that thing. It's the fabric's fantastic. You can wear it. It's multi-seasonal, not too heavy. It's not too light. Check that out. We'd really appreciate it. All right, back to the Booster Club quickly. The phone lines open up here in about 25 minutes. I want to get to this quick so we can roll through, so we can get some new voices on here.
All right, let's go to Helmston. Hashtag Ask Cranico. As the portal season is coming quickly, do we or do we not see a mass exodus of players from teams with coaches changes like A&M and Mississippi State?
Yeah, I mean, you're already seeing it.
Always.
I mean, Max Johnson and Will Rogers are both in the portal, the quarterbacks at both those places. That's the natural progression of things, and that's the one rule I'm fine with. My problem with the transfer portal, and I want to make sure we stay on the standings here. I don't want to get too off topic, is that transferring from conference to conference, or within the same conference, to me is a problem, without having to sit a year. Going from LSU to Alabama is a problem. Now, the caveat to that, and the rule, the exception, should be if your head coach leaves. Not if your offensive coordinator leaves. Not if your quarterback coach leaves. Not if you get upset because the Gatorade tastes terrible at the place and it's not going your way. If the head coach leaves, you should be able to go wherever you want it. For example, if Mike Elko leaves Duke, Riley Leonard should be able to transfer. If he wants to transfer within the ACC and go to North Carolina to replace Drake May, fine. I'm totally for that. I agree with that. But I feel like outside of that, being able to transfer within the same conference, not only within the same conference, within the same division, without a penalty or having to sit out, even if it was half the season, I'd be fine. I'd be fine with that. It's a problem to me. That's my problem with the transfer portal.
I agree.
All right, let's go to Finley O. Hashtag Ask Crane & Co. So where does Liberty fit into the scheme of things? Undefeated, where they should be placed, and where are they heading as a program?
Yeah, well,
pull their top 25 back up.
Yeah, if you look, Liberty right now, I've got it right here, David,
so
is 24. If we had a 12-team playoff, when I said my perfect format would be 8 teams with the conference championship game winner in Power 5, which now with the Pac-12 is down to Power 4, but you'd have those 5 automatic spots. Right? Then you'd have a separate top 25 for the group of 5. So a separate one. And that 12th spot is reserved for that group of 5 team. So whoever finishes number 1 in that group of 5 top 25, let's say in this case, Liberty, they go on to beat New Mexico State, they get that 8th spot, right? With the 8-team playoffs. So 5 Power 5 automatic bids, 2 at-larges, and the 8th spot reserved.
You're saying that would be...
That would be my perfect format. Okay. Now, on the 12 team, you could do the same thing.
Well, in the 12 team, they're going to go with the highest ranked group of 5 team, right? Gets one spot, right?
Well, I believe so.
Would be Tulane.
But see, I don't understand how Tulane is in front of Liberty.
Yeah, well, again, that's where it comes down to rankings, and there's still subjectivity even when we go to a 12 team. But I think it was our boy Blake Ruffino who pointed this out. This is interesting because, see, you see right here, Tulane still ranked 22, so that would be the highest ranked group of 5 team. I think this is how they're going to do it in the 12 team. Tulane would then get into the 12 team playoff next season, even though they lost to Ole Miss, who here wouldn't get in because, or at least not be an automatic qualifier because they wouldn't represent the SEC.
For sure. Like, that's a problem to me.
Yeah.
Like, but the problem, it's doesn't even get to that point. It's the point of Liberty's undefeated. Mm-hmm. Like, so we're going to take that same methodology. If Florida State wins out and Oregon beats Washington, what's preventing you from putting Oregon over Florida State then? Because Florida State's undefeated. Oregon may have had a harder schedule. Or Ohio State with 1 loss. Right? To Michigan on the road, that creates a problem to me. Undefeated should matter, right? In my opinion. I think undefeated should matter over a 1-loss team, even though that 1 loss is to Ole Miss. You still have that 1 loss. That's just my opinion, though. People bring up schedule.
Let's go to UT Parking. Says a rowdy is, although I agree undefeated Florida State deserves a spot, it's explicitly written in the CFP criteria that an injury to a key player or a loss of coach would factor into their decision making.
Where is that written in? I need to see where that's written. If that's written in, that's a mistake. Then why do we even play? Why do we even play? If that's the case, then take the preseason top 4 and just have them play it. Don't waste my time. Or take the top 4 teams that finish, or take the teams that finish the top 4 in the on-3 recruiting rankings. That makes absolutely no sense. You punish everyone for 1 player getting hurt.
That to me tells you that it's mostly about the TV ratings, right? I mean, because can you imagine if there was a scenario in the NFL where the Patriots back in the day couldn't make the playoffs because Tom Brady got hurt, even though they continued to win football games? It would never happen. But if the the media companies are able to control who gets in, they say, well, the revenue won't be as high if Tom Brady makes in. Let's make sure the Colts get in with Peyton Manning so that we can get more viewers on the game. Like, it's a problem with the sport.
I need to see where that's explicitly written into anything. I haven't seen that written in anywhere. I feel like that's just something people talked about. All right, one more and we got to move.
So to Justin Summerlin, what's up, Justin? Head-to-head matters, but if Alabama beats Georgia, Alabama will have the head-to-head over Georgia,
yes,
and that will be the best win in college football.
They will have the head-to-head over Georgia, and I agree with that. If an SEC team gets in, if Alabama beats Georgia, it needs to be Alabama. But if Michigan wins, Washington wins, Florida State wins, and Texas wins, now it's Texas and Bama for that last spot. That's what I believe will happen. We'll see with the committee in Florida State. The precedent it sets to keep Florida State out because of an injury when they go undefeated is going to destroy the sport.
And Florida State has to beat a good Louisville football team.
Yeah, this isn't.
Louisville's not. We'll just walk in the park.
I agree with that.
Jeff Brom.
I agree with that. And that's a great segue to the ACC Championship, the only one we haven't broken down yet. David, when you look at this game, obviously we can sit here and say Jordan Travis sitting in the game. It gives Louisville a great shot, probably the best chance, I think, to upset somebody in one of these conference championship games. You can talk about Alabama, Georgia, right? You talk about Oregon, Washington, technically an upset. But as far as kind of a big upset with Jack Plummer coming off a loss against Kentucky, which I don't think they looked ahead. I watched that whole game. Louisville made mistakes and Kentucky took advantage of it.
It's an in-state rivalry.
Right, it's an in-state rivalry game. Louisville's not getting in the playoff with 2 losses. So this is the hurrah before the bowl game. Can Florida State do enough offensively? Because I think Louisville can move the ball. We've watched them fight up front with Notre Dame, right? We've watched them be able defensively to hang in there against the run. I know what Florida State's going to try and do. You're just trying to survive this to get to the playoff. Mm-hmm. So if you're Mike Norvell, if you're Florida State's offensive staff, David Cohn, I'll ask you, former Michigan quarterback, how aggressive are you going to be with Tate Rodemaker? Or do you feel out how the game is going, play it conservative, see how your defense is playing? Because I think Louisville's going to bring the whole bag of tricks. Mm-hmm. Brom is not going to leave anything left on the table. You're basically playing with house money against a team without their quarterback. Are you going in there saying, screw it, Tate Rodemaker's our guy, he's a redshirt junior, he was our first commitment I had as Mike Norvell's the head coach at Florida State, we're going to operate this thing like Jordan Travis was in there? Or are you going to play a game of, ooh, I'll look at yours if you look at mine?
Kind of like the Michigan-Penn State game. That's
exactly
we saw, right? No, I think it's the latter for sure. I think now if Lamar Jackson were on the other side playing quarterback for Louisville, of course, you got to let it all hang out, right?
Yeah.
But with Jack Plummer on the other side, I think you do feel out what Ron English is going to do on the defensive side for Louisville first before you let your backup quarterback at Florida State just go airing the ball around the yard and calling every single play that you would with Jordan Travis. But I don't think we can talk enough about what the job that both of these coaches have done. I mean, a season ago, we were talking about, Florida State being so down in the dumps. They hadn't had a winning season, like 5 straight years, something like that. Is Mike Norvell on the hot seat? Now they're on the cusp of making the college football playoff despite their starting quarterback going out. Then Jeff Brom coming into a Louisville program, which always, like when I was coming out of high school and getting recruited by Louisville, it was Bobby Petrino at the time, who I know we're going to talk about in a little bit. They had the number 1 offense in the country. Like this program can always win football games. The job that he's done in year 1 with a quarterback coming over in Jack Plummer that he benched, right? At Purdue to for that kid to follow him over to Louisville.
Ultimate compliment.
Name the starter. Like that tells you all you need to know about the coaching staff at Louisville right now. And I agree with you. I think losing to Kentucky says more about the type of team that Mark Stoops has at Kentucky, and they've underperformed throughout much of.
So you're feeling it out early. You're going to feel it out. Let's stick to the run game.
You have to see if the other side, to see if the quarterback on the other side can beat you. That's what I would do.
No, I agree with you. I think that's the safe route because again, why would you risk that much early? Even if you go down, you do have the ability to score if you're a touchdown down or you're 10 points down. Florida State can still come back. Blaine, when you look at Rodemaker, he's obviously been there for a while. When he had to come in last year, Johnny Wilson was his go-to guy. He was his go-to guy against Florida. Johnny Wilson had 6 catches for 64 yards. Keon Coleman had 1 catch. But when you look at that game against Florida, you were going up against a Florida team with their backup quarterback who hadn't really done anything, who could barely throw. So you could be ultra conservative. If Florida State's offensive line and run game shows up, you would think they'd be able to outlast Louisville here. Kind of what's your feel on it?
Well, if it's me, I'm going to play a game, Mike Norvell, of how many times can I run it and feel safe about it. I do not trust this kid at Florida State at all. And I think if you watch that Florida game, which I watched every snap of this Florida game, you can't trust him either. And look, Mike Norvell's done a great job bringing his team back. But Brom's done in the first year is absolutely amazing. And this is the thing about Florida State. And I said this about the Florida State-Florida game. You can run the ball against Florida State. Florida had almost 150 rushing yards. And most of them from the two backs. The quarterback did a little bit, but this Jordan kid, Jawar Jordan for Louisville is over 1,000-yard rusher, and they're pretty damn good up front. Shamari Thrash is an NFL receiver. But the thing is this, how are you going to play this defense against Florida State? Because if you go back and you watch that Florida game, if you give this kid from Florida State time in the pocket just to sit back, they have too good of athletes and Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson who can pick your zones apart. It's almost pick your poison here. If me, I am lighting this kid up. It's a geometry class. I'm bringing it from every angle possible. You want to balance it, but I'm leaning more blitz than I'm leaning playing conservative. Florida State, they want to run the ball. Benson in the backfield, they want to run the ball. I don't think Mike Norvell believes that much in this kid at quarterback. I don't think he's going to come out and air this ball out. I think he's going to rely on the run game, rely on their offensive line, which has been solid the entire year, and let that defense try to win the game for them.
Yeah, well, they were pretty balanced against Florida. They threw it 26 times. They ran it 31 times. Here's where and again, you've got to choose something, right? You're never going to be truly 50-50. You can't live in a world of absolutes, right? Where you're just blitzing every time or you're just playing coverage every time. You got to mix it up. But on those important downs, could you put your head on the pillow easier at night if you're Louisville, if you do bring pressure and you leave that one-on-one out? Because what you do when you bring pressure a lot of times is it's twofold. Yes, you're putting pressure on the quarterback, but you're making the decision easier for him, and you're taking guys out of coverage. For example, it's 3rd and 9. I know I've got a rail route, or we're running 4 verts, or we're running clear out. You bring pressure. I know that I'm going to Johnny Wilson on the outside, or Keon Coleman, wherever they are, and it's man-to-man coverage. That 50-50 ball I feel good about. So not only am I putting the defense in a man-to-man situation, and you go cover LeBron's situation, see if you can stop him, but I'm making the decision for the quarterback. That's why I think it's not just about blitzing. Just like anything in life, it's about timing, but it's about how you blitz. Like, are you blitzing from depth? Are you walking everybody up to the line of scrimmage and saying, guess what? I am man, I am here, I am now. Are you walking guys up and dropping them? I just feel like I would almost rather make Florida State go 8, 9, 10, 11 plays and make them convert 3rd and 5s and 3rd and 6 with him having to find the holes in zone coverage and make the right decision and see if he can't make a mistake or have some missed throws. Not saying you don't heat him up, but I would rather heat you up on early downs. I would rather heat you up on predictable running downs as opposed, because the question is, what do you do in 3rd and 7? We know what to do in 3rd and 2. You got a good idea. They run 12 personnel out here. The question comes down to, what do you do on 3rd and 9?
Well,
right?
They'll mix it up, but the identity of the night, if I know Ron English and I had to play against his defenses every day at practice, the identity of the night's going to be to go after this kid.
Yeah, and we'll see.
And I'm not saying
work.
Just blitz them on 3rd
I know you're
downs.
not saying that.
I'm not saying
I'm talking about the important downs.
You can still blitz somebody and double a guy, right? Those two things can be true at once.
Yeah, but you can't double two of them.
Who's his guy, though? Who's his guy? And who killed Louisville last year?
It's Johnny Wilson, for
right?
sure.
That's who I'm on 3rd down. That's who I'm doubling. That's who he wants to go to. Look, and Keon Coleman is going to be a higher draft pick than Johnny Wilson. Keon Coleman's going to be a better NFL receiver than Johnny Wilson.
Don't forget about Jaheim Bell either.
True. But at the end of the day, in the back of a quarterback's mind, when the panic button clicks, all right, there's one guy that's popping up in this kid's head, and that's Johnny Wilson.
Yeah, well, to me, if it's 3rd and 8 and we got you on a passing down, I am running 2-man. I am stunning the front. And with my 2 safeties that I have up top, I am finding Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman. Jaheim Bell's going to have to beat me in this one. Or they're going to have another receiver beat me in this one. That's why it's so impressive what Ohio State did with Fleming the other day against Michigan, who just so happened to be the number 1 wide receiver in his class that you never really heard about.
Exactly.
That's the problem. But it's like playing the Warriors. You can't double everybody.
Yeah.
Like, they have shooters on deck. It's Steph, it's Clay, you go down the list. They got guys that you can't double everybody. So that becomes a problem. But you also don't want to just sit back and take it the whole game. It's a nice, to quote Mr. Chizo from Grandma's Boy, dandelion nettle blend.
You'll see Tampa too. You'll see Tampa too.
You'll see, mix it up. You got to mix it up and give them a different bag. But we want to know what you think. The line's going to open here in 10 minutes. But speaking about the perfect blend, if you're looking for the perfect scent or the perfect gift this holiday season, you need to check out St. John's. I'm not talking about the Red Storm. I'm talking about the storm that's taken over the cologne and the soap game. Got so many good smells for days. All right. St. John's Cologne, 75 years ago, U.S. Naval Officer Captain John Webb blended the local bay rum with the island's tropical bay leaf oils and spices as the genesis of their collection of distinctive men's fragrances. The bottle's awesome. I use it now. We all have it. It's sitting in my bathroom. My wife absolutely loves it. Bay rum, it's bold and bracing scent. It stands out from the crowd. It's different, but in the best way possible. So what are you waiting for? Go to stjohnsbayrum.com. Ladies out there, here we go. Here's another one. stjohnsbayrum.com. Let me get some of this.
Drop the soap.
I bet you'd like that. stjohnsbayrum.com and use promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, at checkout for exclusive discounts. That's stjohnsbayrum.com. Use promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER today. Shout out St. John's. What scent you got over there, David?
Lime.
It's my favorite. My wife likes the original. I like extra crispy.
Yeah, look,
Limey.
98% of the time,
it works every time. That's wow. All right, let's go and get to your get off my lawn, David. I'm ready to hear this.
God, I can't wait.
This has been kind of all over. You pick that soap up.
I will, Papa.
Clean the floors too while you're down there.
No, I'm not doing that.
Every week, David, who's really an 80-year-old trapped in a 34, 35-year-old
83
body.
now.
He's 83, excuse me. Somebody's on his lawn. And apparently it's Deadspin. So they need to Deadspin their ass off his lawn. David, tell everybody about who's G'ing off your L on a smooth, cool, crispy Wednesday morning.
Deadspin needs to get off my lawn.
Deadspin in my lawn.
This week, Karen Phillips wrote an article for Deadspin titled, "The NFL Needs to Speak Out Against the Kansas City Chiefs Fan in Blackface and Native Headdress." Despite this headline being accompanied by a photograph of the fan from a profile angle showing only half his face, the truth was easily revealed that this is just a kid supporting his favorite team with red and black face paint. Once again, the demand for discrimination in modern America has outpaced the supply, and it's being taken advantage of by grifters like Phillips, who won't even defend his position in the public square, choosing instead to disable comments on his post. Nothing says propagandist like a journalist dodging dissent on an opinion piece. Phillips went on to write, "This is what happens when you ban books and erase centuries of hate. You give future generations ammunition to recreate racism. It's cruel to expect the oppressed to assist their oppressors in the termination of their own oppression." That's a kid in a costume. Idiot. Do y'all see how Deadspin describes your sons when they dress up to cheer on a football team? Let this same boy dress up like a girl, though. Let him dress up as Taylor Swift rather than Travis Kelce, and he'd likely get a locker room tour and a replica Lombardi trophy. These are the signs of a sick society where too many live only in an echo chamber, free from the mockery that is necessary to see how ridiculous they've become. And if you're one of those individuals listening now, offended by this kid supporting the Chiefs, then under no circumstances whatsoever should you tune in for the world premiere of Lady Ballers this Friday night. Which brings me to the main point. For you other 99%, you must tune in for the world premiere of Lady Ballers this Friday night, 8 p.m. Central, only on DailyWirePlus.com. If you're one who sees through pathetic faux virtue signaling like this, if you miss old school comedies that are genuinely funny, then you cannot miss this laugh out loud film. The three of us are honored to be a part of it, and I can assure everyone the headdresses seen here are the least offensive thing in the entire film.
Very well done.
Yes, Connie.
Very well done.
Yes, Connie.
Like, this is, again, it makes me worried about, like, driving on the street. Like, that some of these people have driver's licenses that write stuff like that. If you think that, wait till you see Halloween. You're going to hate that.
Dude, first of all, that kid's headdress was legit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
But it was dope.
Bring it back up.
And the funniest part is he's not the only one. Dan Le Batard, who used to have a great show. A great show with Stu Gotson. He talked about how wearing red and black face paint is so awful. And the year before on Halloween, he dressed up and wore red and black face paint on the show.
Checkmate.
These people, they're so virtue signaling. They're so making moves in their ivory tower. You can't dress up as a Chiefs fan, as a kid.
Rules for thee, not for me.
Yeah, Jay. As a kid, and go to the game. We are so lost. We are so lost.
It goes back to the Gucci Man saying for me.
What?
You can get lost without the sauce.
Yes.
But you can also get lost in the sauce.
Yes. Oh, boys,
these people are all lost in their own sauce.
See, like, here's the question, though.
Yeah.
Like at what point do you just, like, cut the oxygen off to it? Like, is there any point where, because we have to address it, but is this what he really wanted?
Well,
because now I know who this clown is.
Well, I do think, just like we talked about with the movie that's coming, that's why I wanted to, I mean, it was sort of a shameless plug because, yeah, we do have to mock this sort of stuff, but we can only do so much. Like the NFL, I mean, he was addressing the NFL. The NFL needs to come out and like,
they won't,
how silly this is. Or at the very least, the Kansas City Chiefs. Invite that kid to the game in his headdress with his face paint on, bring him into the locker room, give him a free pair of gloves and a football or something. Show him that you support him supporting you.
So, well, again, I mean, what if he identifies, though, as a Native American child?
It's funny you say that because I pulled up. Well, first of all, his mom came out and said that he is part Native American. That's what the mom said.
I would sue. You think Sandman won a lot of money? You went after a child? You go after my child? I will be swimming. It'll be like Wolf of Wall Street. Mm-hmm. I'll be Leo DiCaprio on a yacht with just people bringing me lobster and stuff at the end of this.
It's funny you say that, though, because I pulled up a Deadspin article from earlier in the year. This was like February of this year, where they ran a piece on men competing in women's sports and saying you never know fully how someone identifies, and that's not up for you to decide. That's up for them to decide.
Yeah, not this guy.
Deadspin is fine with people identifying however they want, unless you want to cheer on your favorite team.
We would. What did Mr. Big say, to quote another rapper? Take that to trial? We'll take it to trial.
Now I've got to quote a rapper today.
I know, you do. What do we got over there?
All right, let's go to Ping Pang 7F Gambler. It's really named that Ping Pang, but there's two Chinese symbols, so I'm going to go with Ping Pang.
Nice.
He says, I can't watch bad QB play for Florida State. I don't think it will work out in the playoffs.
Well, look, I think Florida State would get beat game one of the playoffs, but I think a lot of these teams would get beat game one of the playoffs if they're the fourth seed going up against whoever the number one seed is, whether it be Georgia, whether it be Michigan. But that still doesn't mean the team shouldn't be in there. Like, and who knows? Rodemaker, we keep saying this. I remember Cardell Jones coming in the Big Ten championship game for Ohio State, first ever college football playoff, the third string.
He was third string.
Because Braxton got hurt before the year, and then JT Barrett had to be the quarterback. So, like, Rodemaker could come in and ball. Like, why would we kill a redemption story before it even has a chance?
And that team, that Buckeyes team, had to climb up into the top four in the very last week, too.
That's exactly right. So, again, we've even had precedent in this. I don't want to watch bad QB play either, but I don't want to watch commercials during games. Still got to watch them. It's part of it. You earn the right to be there. You deserve to be there.
Let's go to Carson Everett, hashtag Ask Crane & Co. I read on Twitter that the Chiefs fan base is planning on wearing face paint in support of this kid.
That'd be
starting
so great.
To win as a culture.
Chiefs fans, one of them, Chiefsaholics out there, robbing banks allegedly. You know, they're getting behind the kid's face paint. Tell you what, starting shout out to our friends Bill Rhodes and his wife. Those are two of the biggest Chiefs fans I know. Shout out to the Chiefs fan base. They got the little SEC in them.
Yeah.
Let's go to Dom, hashtag Ask Crane & Co. Thoughts on the rumor Cam Ward to Ohio State? Rumors are the staff picked Devin Brown 7-4 in a vote, but Day still picked Kyle McCord.
I don't know about all that. I wasn't there. I'm not going to speculate because I wasn't in the room. Cam Ward, to me, is the best quarterback in the portal right now. I got asked this yesterday when I went on the radio in Auburn. He'd be the one I'd pick. Why? Because he's the best at both. Mm-hmm. Like, when you look at it, I don't think, you look at Ohio State, I think Kyle McCord's going to be fine. I don't think Kyle McCord's a terrible player. Give the man a chance to get some experience. Made a couple mistakes against Michigan, but he bounced back. I think he's got a little bit of dog in him. Like, watching Kyle, the way he operated. Like, I'd feel a lot better about Kyle McCord than I would about Peyton Thorne if I was at Auburn. But they said 10 schools had offered Cam Ward $1 million. The Washington State quarterback to transfer. A&M was in there. Auburn was in there. Ohio State was in there. He's Hansel right now at the Male Model Awards. Because again, he can run the ball at a very high level, and he can throw the ball at a very high level, and you just don't see a lot of that.
Don't let Mason Smith sign an autograph, though.
Yeah. Don't let Mason Smith sign an autograph because he can't play.
Because when I heard the news of all those schools offering Cam Ward $1 million, it was from some a Michigan fan that I follow, and he said the NCAA probably won't care about this. And I said, unless he picks Michigan.
Yeah, watch that.
Investigation.
Well, it's funny because Greg Sankey, commissioner of the SEC, came out and said, that we shouldn't be able to offer transfers money, when if the head coach is still there and stuff like that before the season, and all of a sudden 2 SEC schools are on that list. It's a total do as I say, don't do as I do thing. Like your dad used to say. I used to ask my dad, he used to be like, but you said I shouldn't do this. Why are you doing it? He'd be like, well, you do as I say, not as I do.
Oh, you got that too?
Yeah. Well,
my dad said, you don't want to be like me, do you?
The reason he had me was to change the channel with the remote and grab him a beer every now and then from the kitchen. All right, what else we got quickly?
All right, let's go to Farmer Jake with the $7 donation. Appreciate it. Good morning, sexy ballers. Good morning to you, Farmer. Y'all see Justin Trudeau at the Chiefs game over the weekend. Oh, wait, that's just a kid having fun.
Yeah, well, I would much rather have the kid as a leader than that guy. That dude totally sucks. Just ask Kirk. That's why we're having to skyhook him from Montreal or wherever the hell he is. All right, David, let's get to a little coach grading.
All right, coaching hires. We talked about Mike Elko, Jeff Lebby, Jonathan Smith, and now Fran Brown getting the job at Syracuse. We talked about all these coaches. Let's give them a grade here.
Okay. You want to start with
let's start with Mike Elko at Texas A&M.
B+.
That's what I have.
B+. I thought Urban Meyer, if you want the most proven commodity, I know you say, oh, yeah, and coached for a while. He's kept up with the times. He knows how to hire. But Mike Elko knows the lay of the land, right? We've seen him have success at a place where it's tough to have success multiple years. With the Riley Leonard injury, I thought it was a successful year for Duke. You beat Clemson to open it up. Duke's back on the map. And you're getting a hard ass. And I think that fits Texas A&M's kind of style, their profile, what they need to get back to. The 12th man. They don't need to be a bunch of prima donnas that paid a bunch of guys that NIL, we're not really connected to the program. Look, college football is a cult, okay? And I'm here for it. Texas A&M just happens to have like the most legit cult. Did you see him swinging and at the press conference?
I saw him swing.
The kumbaya. Listen, I'm excited you care that much. That makes me feel better about it, right? And you haven't won it since 1939. Imagine if they win it.
I know.
It'll burn down. It'll burn. Speaking about Gotham City, that's what it'll be like. I wonder if Bane showed up. But give me a B+. The only reason it's not an A, because the sample size is not huge.
Yeah.
And it's been a struggle for A&M to get over the hump. But I think outside of Urban Meyer, give me a B+. I think this is about the best hire you've ever made.
I got a B. I mean, B+. Then A&M just reminds me of the ROTC kid that's super weird, but you respect him for what he does. He's just weird, though. Right? In that A&M, it's just weird.
It's just awful because everybody knows exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just a kid who loves it so much, but it just comes off as super strange. But look, I think you're going to get back to a blue-collar team. That's what Mike Elko's going to do. You're going to play phenomenal defense, right? My question will always be on the other side of the ball. Bringing back Wegman is going to be a huge piece.
Bobby Petrino's gone.
Bobby Petrino's gone. He's going home, all right, back to Arkansas on his motorcycle. But I think this is it's not a splashy hire, all right? The aliens aren't stoked about this one. They're not going to hear about it. But I think it's the right move for A&M with the pieces that they have left. So I'm going with B for Elko and the ROTC kids
And I love that a fan base like Texas A&M, who hasn't won a championship since 1939, cares that much.
It's so good.
Expectations are that high. I love that. I love that Nebraska, despite being sort of down in the dumps for the last 2 decades or whatever, still cares enough that they have this sellout streak still going. That's what makes college football great. And because of that, because of all the resources they have out there and they have all the money and they can go get a number of head coaches, that's why I also have a B+. Urban Meyer would be the A. So let's just set the metric for what because that's a guy who's going to just come in and win football games.
Sure.
He's just going to come in and win them.
We've seen it too many times not to believe it.
Now, granted, I would have probably given Jimbo Fisher, if I had been doing sports media at the time when he was hired, a higher grade because he won a national championship. So just because you've done it before doesn't mean you're the best hire moving forward. I think this is a guy who was involved in the program. He's defensive minded. He's going to, really change a lot of the cultural elements there at Texas A&M. I think he's going to have success. I give it a B+. So how about Jeff Lebby?
I give this an A for Mississippi State. An A. And you say, Jake, an A. Why would you give Jeff Lebby a higher grade who hadn't been a head coach yet? Look at the places where they're going.
That's the thing.
And this isn't a knock on Mississippi State, but let's be honest. Mississippi State is not the mecca of the SEC or the SEC West. It's a great place. They love their football. I think Starkville is actually a little underrated when it comes down to it, because I'm not a huge city boy, right? I kind of like the middle-sized town growing up in Auburn, even though I will say Auburn's cooler than Starkville, if we're going to be honest. But I love this hire for a couple reasons. One, it's going to bring you an innovative offense, different than Mike Leach, who ran the air raid, but it's a fun style of offense to run. It's attractive for quarterbacks. It does translate to the NFL. We have seen guys have a lot of fun in it and score a lot of points. The second thing is, I think Mississippi State didn't play it safe. Yeah, Jeff Lebby doesn't have a ton of head coaching experience, but he's been around Lane Kiffin, right? He's been at Oklahoma. This guy is very well traveled. He knows how to recruit the state, because he's been at Ole Miss, which is another cool thing about this. It's going to make the Egg Bowl insane, going up against Lane Kiffin. They're kind of like brothers going against each other. It adds another element, another chapter to it. But he's not going to be new to how it works. If you work at Ole Miss, you understand how it works at Mississippi State. If you work at Mississippi State, you understand how it works at Ole Miss. And I am now, the third best part about it, the reason I give it an A, because I have an automatic bet that's going to hit every year when I take the over for the Egg Bowl.
Sure. How about you?
I'm going B+. I'm a huge Lebby guy. Wherever he goes.
You're a huge Lebbian?
Yes, I'm a huge Lebbian. Well put. But you talked the same thing about Mike Elko. There's not a big enough sample size as a head coach.
There's not any sample size.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely not big enough. What do you do? And we always talk about this. I think we talk about it a lot more in the NFL, about coordinators transitioning to head coaching jobs. It's so different. I want to see how Lebby acts as the head coach of a program. The decisions he makes in games and clutch moments, that's what I want to see. Recruiting fine will be on offense. You will be able to score points, and he will get Mississippi State on the right track. But I have to see in the clutch moments, will he make the right decisions? So that's why I'm going to be.
I have A- right now. I mean, Mississippi State, their options are just a little more limited than a program like a Texas A&M.
They're the 6.5. That has a funny personality.
And if you bring in a guy like this, I think you're making a great point there in the style of offense. Guys are wanting to come in and play for that to get NFL ready. And in the era of the transfer portal, who knows what sorts of guys you could land. Get the right sort of players in there. You can be competitive in the SEC.
Without a doubt. You can win at Mississippi State. I don't think you can win big consistently, but you can win there. Again, you're a 6.5, a 7 with a really funny personality. That's who Mississippi State is. Love being around them. Look, are they going to win homecoming queen? No, they're not. But guess what? They're going to go in there. They're not going to be the ugliest person at the party. They're going to make funny jokes. Hey, they may jump off the roof into the pool. It's Mississippi State.
Sounds like a fun guy.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, it's a dude. He's a 6.5.
I said a girl. I said homecoming queen.
We're all so proud of you.
I'm married to a woman. There's only one person on here that's not married to a woman.
The wood in the closet's made of many different types, buddy. You feel free to come.
Well, you would know.
Never heard that.
You're trapped in there with John Travolta.
I don't know. You're R. Kelly right now in the closet.
Well, I mean, look.
There was a line here, and now you
R. Kelly's too far?
Now it's messed up.
See?
Now it's messed up.
My suit's all messed up. Jonathan Smith is going to go take the head job at Michigan State.
I'm going to go B. Solid B. The reason is I just hate that the Pac-12 put him in this situation. Because I think because Jonathan Smith played at Oregon State, unless I've just lost my mind. That's his alma mater. To leave that, because Oregon State's not, you look at Oregon State and Michigan State, I would say Michigan State's more high profile. Maybe not here lately with what Oregon State's done, but it's not like there's this huge gap. They love their football out in Corvallis. I got family out there, right? Oregon's a weird place, but they can get weird for football. So I hate that the Pac-12 put Oregon State and Jonathan Smith and Washington State and Coach Dickert in this position to where now you're having to leave home to escape, to go get security, right? To have a security blanket. I think it was a smart move by Jonathan Smith. Is it a sexy hire? No. Does he run the most fun brand of offense? No, but I think it kind of fits Michigan State, right? Run the pass, be multiple in formations, heavy-handed on defense, be able to pitch backwards somewhat when you have a guy that can throw it. But I think it's a good, solid hire. But look, Michigan State, now you get out of that Big Ten East, man. Y'all should be thanking God every day, like Penn State. Freedom.
Mm-hmm. You like this higher replacement?
Yeah, I do. I'm going B.
Okay.
I'm going B here. I just want to put Jonathan Smith in a white lab coat, black gloves, and get him to tell somebody to get out of my laboratory.
Well, doesn't he just
looks like a super villain? He looks like Stewie, all grown up.
No, he looks like Doc Ock off Spider-Man. That's who he looks like. The guy with the tentacles.
Yeah,
that's who he looks like. If he showed up with them glasses on, the same ones that Urban Meyer wears on Big Noon Kickoff.
Jonathan Smith. He looks like
that's the perfect cover name, Dave. The perfect cover name.
That's the good.
I think he's going to fit well where he's going after what you mentioned. He wants to run the ball and he wants to play defense. It was kind of weird. It was 6 seasons at Oregon State, but the defense really was not that good.
Yeah. I like this. I'm going B+, man. Michigan State's a place that, like you said, especially with divisions going away, you can win football games. Mark D'Antonio did a great job there. He proves that you can punch above your weight. I mean, he was beating Jim Harbaugh. He was beating Michigan.
No doubt. They give y'all problems all the time. But
no doubt.
You know what gives a lot of people problems? The coffee they're drinking. It's mid.
Oh, I was
not me.
Else with that.
It's average. Well, we can go down that road later.
Not my coffee.
And we know holiday prepping is a pain. And it always feels like there isn't just enough time in the day. And some people are just incredibly hard to shop for. Well, guess what? Black Rifle Coffee, they're here to keep you mission focused this holiday. It's mission possible this holiday season, you guys. Their December coffee of the month is Costa Rican Arabica coffee. I hope I said that right. Arabica coffee that delivers tasting notes of chocolate, citrus, and maple. I love all three of those things. All right, and they're a veteran-founded coffee company. They're operated by principal men and women. They have ready-to-drink cans as well. Rumor has it they're making a Flamin' Dragon brew.
Are they?
We're hoping. Blaine just keeps lying to us every week about it.
First of all, I'm not lying. It's in the works. Great things take time.
Yeah, guess what? You know what you and animals in the Sahara have in common? You're both lying.
I don't know.
So
he's a 6.5.
Yeah, well, that's Mississippi State. Gunship right there. You've got a llama.
Power llama.
With a machine gun on it, which we call that a Saudi Arabian tank. And then
Blackbeard's Delight, which is empty because I drank it. And then, of course, Cousin Ichabod, Headless Horseman's Roast. Even though we're kind of moving out of pumpkin spice territory, we're moving into a little peppermint mocha December situation.
See, I'm not a huge
I, for one,
guy.
am pumped about.
But if you are a huge peppermint guy or gal, sure Black Rifle Coffee has something great for you. So save money and drink America's coffee. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use our promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, at checkout for 10% off your one-time purchase or first coffee club order. That's blackriflecoffee.com. Promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, for 10% off. You can find it in grocery and convenience stores near you. But we know you want to go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use that promo code BOOSTER. Black Rifle Coffee, America's coffee. It's almost Christmas. Don't blow it. All right.
Fran Brown. Syracuse job, man.
I'm going to go B- just because I know who Fran Brown is. Got a lot of respect for him. He wasn't at Georgia very long. Great recruiter. I'm interested to see. He looks similar to Sharon Moore to me. That's when I saw his picture at first. A lot of people thought this was Sharon Moore because the goatee. But at the end of the day, I wonder what the ceiling is for Syracuse. I think every 3 to 4 years, just like other programs, you can have a big year. I think he will get the players in there, though. I think he has a chance to get some guys, too, from the South as well. I'm going to go B-. Sample size, How
about you?
I'm going to go B. I'm going to go B because, one, any time you come from Georgia, I believe. I believe in you. I believe in what you look at. I believe in how you do the process. I believe in you on and off the field.
Down for the Ravens.
I think it'll be a good hire. I think it'll be a good fit. I think he will have success where he goes.
I'm going to go A-, actually.
Ooh,
50% of the equation, like we talked about, is where you're going. Syracuse, you're not hiring Kirby Smart, right? Like, you're not pulling Dabo Swinney away. Like when the rumor was Texas A&M is going to go after Dabo Swinney, as silly as that seemed, it's possible, right? Like, he's not going to Syracuse. For them to really be able to compete in the ACC, you got to take a risk, and you're not going to get a proven commodity. Mm-hmm. So why not go to the Kirby Smart tree? Right?
I love it.
Like everybody else that's done it has had success. I think Fran Brown, with the ties to the Northeast, plus he was ranked the #1 recruiter, I believe, on some sites, like 247.
Oh, he's one of the best.
That. Like, it's a good hire for Syracuse. You have to take these sorts of risks, and who knows? Maybe he's there 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons and puts together a nice run.
And I know he's a really good recruiter. It's a lot harder to recruit at Syracuse than it is at Georgia right now.
Very difficult.
It's a lot simpler to just show up with that G on say, hey, you want to play college football? A lot of kids are going to say yes. They want to get to the NFL.
True.
And then, obviously...
Oh, also, real quick, Mike Hart is going to interview for the Indiana head coaching job, which is awesome. I played with Mike for 2 years. Man, he's a great guy, one of the greatest running backs in Michigan history. He's going to interview for the Indiana job. Let's see what happens. We'll keep you posted on that. But Arkansas is going to rehire Bobby Petrino as their OC. And the news was Arkansas is going to vet Bobby Petrino. We've done that.
Yeah. If you remember how it ended with Bobby Petrino on a motorcycle wearing a neck brace at a press conference, it was a disaster. But this, I found this year's, here it is right here. Here's how Bobby Petrino left Arkansas. That's a real picture. That's like not fake. So you can go look up the story. A lot of controversy. It ended very badly. This is my It Just Means More move of the year. This goes to show you, just like I've talked about with Urban Meyer getting back into it, people are like, oh, no, not Urban Meyer. Oh, God, not Urban Meyer. Or Hugh Freeze. Winning cures everything. You know what matters more to the people in Fayetteville, and I respect it, than the way it ended with Bobby Petrino? The way it was before, when they were winning and scoring points, and it was fun, and it was imaginative. Yeah, it went off a cliff, but you were going fast before. You had a great time driving around the mountain. They want that feeling again. And I think it shows you how desperate Sam Pittman is. Because it's different if Hugh Freeze goes from Ole Miss to Auburn.
Yeah.
That's totally different. Urban Meyer goes from where he is now to a new place. This would be like Urban Meyer going back to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Or going back to Florida. You don't see this. I can't remember ever seeing this in my life. Even though it's an offensive coordinator, that's a huge spot. That just goes to show you, it just means more is not a slogan, it is a lifestyle. It just means more is not a slogan, it is a mindset. And Arkansas, they're down with the sickness, and I'm here for it.
He's already returned to a place. He went back to Louisville and coached again. Look, I'm not as big of a fan of it. I don't think it's a great look for Arkansas. I don't know everything that happened.
How dare you?
With the situation. If it was like he was having an affair with a volleyball girl who then he hired at the football program when she graduated. Then the motorcycle accident happened.
What a monster.
To me, only, again, 50% of it is that. The other part of it is we've seen Bobby Petrino. We've seen him return to Louisville and left them again. It's just like, to me, if you're Arkansas, you can go out and you can get better. You can go hire a younger coordinator.
I'd be laughing. If I'm Bobby Petrino, I am laughing. So y'all are paying me again.
Why?
Y'all are paying me money again.
It's like, maybe if Texas A&M was undefeated right now and he just called the best offense we've ever seen in the history of the world, and you have to make a decision on, golly, he would come back here, but we have this, the morality is not justified. That's not what happened. Like, you can go get a better offensive coordinator, a younger guy.
Sometimes you just can't get over your ex, dude.
That's what I was about to say. This isn't
Great
like...
White Buffalo.
That's a good way.
This isn't like, hey, we're married. I caught you cheating. I'm going to give you a second chance, like, immediately. This is, hey, we're married. I caught you cheating. You weren't a great husband to begin with, right? There were some great times. Went out some great places. Remember that time we went to the West Coast?
Sugar Bowl?
Right, went on that road trip. That was great, back when the love was real. Caught you cheating. We got divorced for 3 years. I went out there and looked. The returns were not good. So I can't find love again. Maybe you were my soulmate, right? Maybe it was just a mistake. Let me bring you back in. Oh, you're thriving now? Wow, you got a promotion at work? You're back in the big time? You're back as a stockbroker? You kicked that drug and alcohol habit? Come on back. Let's see if we can't recapture the memory. Who knows? Maybe it was true love. It just had to be put on hold for a while. That's what this is to me. But speaking about on hold. It can only
get better on offense, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, I wonder what KJ's going to do.
If only we had, a caller on the line from Arkansas or something. Oh, wait, we have two.
Now I'm MB.
Start with Matthew in Arkansas. Matthew, what do you think about this hire?
What's up, boys? It is the whole hard hog.
Oh, God, the hope is back.
Oh, Bobby P is riding his Harley back onto the hill, and we are about to come back all the way to top 10 in the nation.
What's the hey, Matthew, what's the consensus? And how many people are pissed? What percentage of them versus people that are excited?
I've seen most of the polls like ranging between 60, 70%, 75% favorability.
Want to win. I respect it. It's not like Bobby Petrino, went and did some terrible act, right?
Did he not?
I mean, come on, man.
He didn't like blow up a hospital.
How? He didn't blow up a hospital. Correct.
Well, he didn't go kidnap somebody or rob like a bank. It's like they treat Urban Meyer like he's Kim Jong-un.
You ever been to a volleyball game, dog?
Yeah.
You ever been to a volleyball game?
Let me give you a hint. I'm not saying it's right. But Bobby Petrino isn't one of the first guys to fall in love with somebody in the sphere and then bring them into the fold. He's one of the first people I've seen caught doing it, right? I'm not saying it makes it right.
Love is love, y'all.
Look, here's the thing. How many points do we average in a game?
Yeah, so let's get to that part of it, Matthew. Like, beyond all that, like, is this really the best offensive coordinator we could go get for Arkansas?
Look, I know looking at Texas A&M last year, it wasn't the greatest, but do y'all really think Jumbo wasn't in there mucking things up? I mean, I still believe Bobby Petrino has got to be a top 5 offensive mind in the game
I agree
of football.
I agree with that. Here's what's going to happen, though. What happens next year when the offense is really good but the defense is bad and y'all go 6-6, and then they fire Sam Pittman and Bobby Petrino as the head coach again?
This is the same question we asked when he went to Texas A&M with Jimbo.
Yeah, and he was there one year.
That's the thing.
Bye.
It's not going to be bad. We're going to retain Travis Williams, and he's going to continue to build that defense, and we're going to get better on both sides of the ball, and we're going to have an awesome year next season.
Well, y'all better hope Ron Roberts stays at Auburn. I don't think he's going anywhere, but if Ron Roberts leaves Auburn, the DC, T-Will, I think, is gonzo. He's going home.
If Arkansas fans are happy, then I'm happy for them. Because this year was a disappointment, and you deserve better.
Where we finished? Before Bobby Petrino was fired, where was Arkansas in the AP poll to end the year?
Man, was it 17?
12.
No. Number 5 in the country, coming off a Cotton Bowl win over Kansas State, 11-2.
He just working his way in there. Far. Bobby's coming, just slithering. Here he comes. But Matthew, we'll see, man. We will see.
I like your positive about it.
I like your positive
about it, Matt.
Hey,
Matthew.
Enjoy Lady Ballers on Friday.
Yes, sir. Ready for it.
See you, buddy.
All right, let's go to Hunter in Arkansas. Hunter, how you feeling about the hire?
They jacked up today.
Thank everything.
There we go. I love this. I'm so here for this. That's why I love college football. So, where does Arkansas finish next year in the SEC, Hunter?
Okay, there's no division.
Nope.
I'm gonna be realistic. Our defense is bad.
Second.
I'll be realistic. Third at worst.
I'm gonna say like middle of the SEC next year.
Okay.
Like right in the middle.
That'd be a step up from the past couple of years.
We'll pull up y'all's 2020.
I mean, literally, I think the only SEC team that did worse than us was Vanderbilt this year.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
I think they actually have the same record.
So are you getting the same vibe as Matthew was through the fan base, 60-40, 70-30 on board?
Yeah, I'd say like more of the younger guys, like I'm assuming me and Matthew are. A lot of them are a little more hyped than the older people who are still they're like honed. They're like, oh, Bob Petrino's the worst. Okay, first off, we're the same state that had a president that did essentially the same thing in the White House.
Yeah, that is true.
He was the governor.
There's not a ton to do. The duck hunting's great, though.
So this is y'all's schedule real quick. You got UAPB week 1. You go to Oklahoma State.
Okay.
Week 2. Then you have UAB.
It's funny.
Good.
I'm actually planning on going to that Oklahoma State.
That'll be dope.
Nice. That's
Stillwater's dope. Then you have UAB at home. You have Texas A&M home. Texas at home. Louisiana Tech at home. LSU at home.
Jesus, do y'all play a road game?
You go to Auburn. You have Tennessee at home. You go to Mississippi State. You go to Missouri.
That's not awful. That's not an awful schedule.
God, I still want to play UAB.
I'm not worried about UAB with Trent Dilfer.
Trent?
We'll see.
I mean, losing KJ is going to be big.
Yeah, well, I mean, you haven't lost him yet.
I think if with Bobby going, he might sway a little Texas A&M quarterback to go to Arkansas if KJ.
Connor Wegman?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know. Well,
Wegman ain't leaving. Wegman
you think him and Wegman are that tight?
Didn't go there for Bobby wasn't there.
If not Wegman, I'd be fine with Max Johnson. I'm just saying.
I mean, I don't
already in the portal.
Yeah, Max.
Yeah, I mean, look
at what our backup quarterback.
Dude, I'm telling you, Will Howard from K-State. Will Howard from K-State's nice.
Yeah, Auburn's looking at him too.
He's nice, dude. I don't think he's getting enough attention either. That kid can sling it.
Yeah.
He's an absolute tree.
Big guys that can run do well at Auburn. So let's just let Will Howard come to Auburn.
Yeah.
Last time we did that worked out pretty well.
Yep. Appreciate you calling, Hunter.
Thanks, Hunter.
Good luck, Hunter.
Also,
Good day, bud.
if you called earlier and it was busy, call in now. There should be you should be able to get through.
We got a couple lines open. Call in. Let's go to Brianna in Houston.
Yo.
Good morning, guys. Roll
What's
Tide.
up?
Hey, roll Tide.
It's Mobama, and while I don't love how we won last week, I'm just thankful we got through it.
Mm-hmm.
God, Mobama, like, I was having a great morning so far. We got the premiere tonight. I've finally moved past this a little bit, and you come in here at 7:40 Central Time, and you just soul snatch me.
I want to revisit it.
I bet you do. What a great night in the Cone household. I tell you what, Michigan wins their rivalry game. Bama looks up, and Auburn hands it to them once again because we can't figure out how to win. Wow, it must be nice. Must be. Meanwhile, I'm over here like Oliver Twist, just holding out a bowl. You know, probably gonna put some Duke's mayo.
You just stare up at that Cam Newton poster at your house. And
yeah, they did win it.
Y'all won a championship.
That's what. And we made a.
I
Final
need
Four
one.
Does it make me feel
in my lifetime? And we made a Final Four. Mobama, how was that Final Four y'all made? Oh wait, now I remember.
Now it's college.
That's all I got, Brianna.
Season.
That's all I got. Let me have it.
You can have that. That's okay. Football's all that matters anyway.
That's a good point.
But I am still nervous about Georgia. You know, I think that we didn't really show what we needed to against Auburn to really give me the confidence that we need to go up against Georgia. But, you know, hopefully we play our best game and it turns out good. But the thing I really called y'all about is it's been a while, but I got a Flaming Dragon Friday bet for y'all if you're willing to take it.
Hit us with it.
Okay, so this is cumulative like they've all been. So however many you go over or hit the under by is how many, I'm going to say bites or pieces the winner or the loser has to eat. So this time I'm saying sardines dipped in Nutella. So one sardine per time you go over or how much you hit the under by.
You will not, listen, Brianna, I accept.
Wait.
And you will not see somebody succeed harder than me this Friday, knowing that I would have to eat a sardine dipped in Nutella.
Sardines dipped in Nutella? That's just lunch.
See, you like
this is a group decision.
Yeah, I'm in.
This is a group decision.
I'm in.
Cool.
I don't duck the smoke.
Cool. I get to set it, right? I'll get to set it. So, David, are you in?
Of course.
Look, if we hit the under on Flaming Dragon Friday, he's got to eat it by how many we don't say, right?
And I got to wear a Bama shirt.
Correct.
I got to wear a Bama shirt this week too.
Ooh, man!
Yeah,
all right, Mobama.
But I get to set the number Friday.
Well, you already know it's going to be 0.5.
Yeah. So Blaine sets the number, but also remember the reason that it's cumulative is so that even if you guys do go over early, you still have to play because otherwise you're going to be eating more sardines.
Can we do something other Nutella?
No. Let's sign it.
Like,
your problem.
Can we do peanut butter?
Hold on.
Can we do peanut butter?
Your problem. Hold on. Your problem with eating sardines and Nutella is the Nutella?
Yeah, I don't mind sardines. I really don't. I don't mind sardines. They're not terrible.
I can't wait. I kind of want to try one.
You like sardines too, don't you, David?
Love them. Yeah. Anchovy, sardines.
I was going to say melted chocolate, but I figured Nutella would be easier to get on set.
Is peanut butter acceptable? Can we accept peanut butter?
No, I want Nutella.
Peanut butter would cover up the flavor too much. You got to have something that's going to be going against it. So
I'll get my people to get in touch with your people.
We're good.
She's her people.
Turley, be quiet.
We're not doing Vegemite.
We're not doing Vegemite. I'm not going to throw up live on
let someone.
I'll dress up like a girl and play basketball for 22 million people to see. but I will not eat Vegemite with a sardine.
Your bow looked good, by the way.
Yeah, and you're only supposed to eat a little bit of it, and you spread it on a whole thing of bread.
Yeah. Mobama, thank you. We'll do it.
Mobama.
I'm in.
Appreciate it, Mobama.
Man, Bama has 2 losses in college basketball. That's tough.
They lost to Clemson last night, didn't they?
Yeah, they got drugged.
Talking about it being a good night the other night in the Cone household, we had to watch them lose to the Buckeyes.
Oh, no, you lost a regular season basketball
I had to hear about it.
Must be tough. I'll cry. I'll cry.
Care about basketball?
You know what? Let's go to Jessup in South Carolina. Jessup, how are you feeling? You care about basketball?
College basketball season's underway. They've played a tough schedule so far, so a couple losses early, but I think the Vols will have a good run this year.
They got a big one tonight.
Listen, it's Rick Barnes. They'll have a great regular season and lose in the second round.
They play North Carolina tonight, don't they?
At least an Elite Eight this year.
Well,
wow, you're shooting for the stars.
Look, I hope so. I like Rick Barnes.
We've been knocked out in the round of 32 and the round of 16 the last 2 years.
Dude, that is true.
We need to get past that.
Trust me, I'm an Auburn fan. We have a phenomenal season. And then somewhere down the road, we play Miami and get our ass kicked in the tournament.
Well, look, anybody that can't get to the Sweet 16 with Kevin Durant, I don't trust.
Yeah, well, they're going to play tough defense.
They will. They will. I like Ziegler. I like Sakai.
Ziegler is nice. Connect. He's the guy to watch.
Yeah, the white guy, Haru, the Great White Ninja. Yeah, for sure.
So my question for you guys is, when it comes to wins against ranked opponents, I have my opinion, but I want to hear y'all's. Do you think that it should be when you play them, the team is ranked, or should it be more of a looked at this time of year into the regular season, how many teams are still ranked that you beat? Or is it kind of a sliding scale that we kind of need 2 columns for? Because for half the year we use the AP, and then the other half we use the college football. Because if you look at the bottom of the AP and the college football rankings, they are very different.
Well, it's funny because when you look at college basketball, this is one of the arguments that I hear. Well, it was a quad 1 win then, but then later in the year, looking back on it, it's not a quad 1 win. Then you have this cumulative thing all year that goes into your resume to see if you can make the NCAA tournament. The way I view it is this. I think it should all be looked at by the end of the year and the full body of work.
Yes.
I don't think you can go back to week 4 and say, well, they were ranked 23rd, so it's a ranked win, that's cemented. Then they look at Washington State, for example. You win what? 6 games in a row to start the season, you're 6-0. Then you fall off a cliff. Look at Syracuse the last couple of years. I think at the end of the year,
they've been ranked.
That's a great point.
The year.
It is a full body of work. That's why it's called a season. There's a start, there's a middle, and there's an end. And at the end, you look back on it. It's why you don't grade a test halfway through. They didn't take up the ACT when I was taking it halfway through before I got to the science or the math part, which they would have. But they didn't say, all right, well, we're going to grade how you did on the test now, then we'll grade the other half and put it in a column. No, it's at the end of it, you look back on the full body of work. How did you do? How did the teams that you play end up? That's where I think you come up with a true strength of schedule. Right? And listen, there's playing Florida State week 6 was a lot different than playing them this week.
And that's where this comes into play.
I get that.
Key player gets injured. The teams that beat Duke.
LSU week 1 in Florida State. I mean, that LSU's a completely different team at the back end of the year than they were.
I agree with that. But see, that's the natural progression of the LSU team. That's their arc. Florida State's was kind of cut off because Jordan Travis got hurt. So if there's any argument you could make, it's if Jordan Travis got hurt in week 6 and you beat them in week 4, that Florida State team was a different team in week 4 they were in week 6. Now, that doesn't mean that team shouldn't get in the playoff if they're undefeated at the end of the year. That's why it's a full body of work. So that's where I fall.
If you're undefeated, you're in.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Jessup.
Jessup, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Enjoy Lady Ballers Friday. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, man.
Great.
All right, we got 2 more callers. Let's get to them both. We're going to go to Michael in Texas. How you doing, man?
Morning, fellas.
Mike, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Mikey?
I have one regret from this weekend, and I wish I had a cigar like David did when we beat Ohio State for the 3rd year in a row.
I got one for you.
What's up?
I got one for you. I'll get it to you.
Oh, great. Thank you.
That's love right there.
All right, perfect. So I heard you guys preview the Big Ten title game, and I want to give a take. I don't know if it's been mentioned yet.
Yeah.
I know you guys were talking about protecting JJ so he doesn't get hurt. what I think they would probably do is they threw in some of the wrinkles like they did this past weekend with the backup coming in running some
orgy,
QB power. But I also want to mention the guy he was taking the handoff to, Samaj Morgan. He's ran some wide receivers sweeps a couple of times, and one ends up breaking for a touchdown or two. So those are going to be some wrinkles you'll probably see them pull against Iowa, just to protect JJ. Although I will say he looked good, being mobile. I don't think his mobility is going to be an issue.
Well, Mike, I want to say this. When we were talking about it, I don't mean you protect him as in you don't operate your normal game plan. It's when you try and protect somebody, it's typically when they get hurt, right? It's almost like sheltering a kid. You're doing the worst thing you possibly could. You put them out in the world, they're going to make mistakes because they haven't been exposed to that before. My thing was the freak injury that could happen, right? Jordan Travis versus North Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Not that Iowa's North Alabama, but look, J.J. McCarthy could get hurt walking to the facility. He could get hurt picking his lunch tray up. He could get hurt whether it's a pass, whether it's a quarterback design run. Now, I don't think you go run J.J. McCarthy 35 times.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're protecting. They don't do that really anyway. Like, he may keep it on a zone read action. They may have a quarterback design run on 3rd and short or a couple times a game, but that isn't your identity. I feel like this is one where Michigan should win the game, but there's a lot of things that could go wrong within winning this game for Michigan moving forward, and that's one of them. You don't like to talk about it. You don't like to put it out there. I just don't want you to think I mean protect him from a play calling standpoint. Michigan already runs a conservative offense.
Yeah. It'll be more conservative, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Michigan, you can't win a playoff game or a national championship without J.J. McCarthy.
100%.
You could probably beat Iowa without doing all of the things with him that you've done throughout the season. Q power, zone read, things like that. Throwing it on 3rd and 5 when you could just as easily run it and quite possibly still get that first down. Those are the sorts of ways I think they'll be more conservative.
Yeah, and if you get up, like if all of a sudden you're Michigan and you're up 24-0 with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter against an Iowa team that struggles to score, do you take J.J. McCarthy out? Do you just put, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I put orgy in and say, guess what? To code RG3, there's an orgy going on out there, right? Oh boys hitting gaps and running traps.
What's interesting is I don't even know if he's the backup. Like,
he's their wildcat.
He's the wildcat answer for packages, but if it was like a true backup situation.
He's their like Diet Taysom Hill.
Who?
Yeah.
What? Orgy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You just
say, pretty much.
A lot of holes, not enough time.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate it, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks.
Go blue, brother.
Send you that cigar.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Christian quickly in Georgia. Christian, we got 30 seconds, man.
Christian, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Hey, a first-time caller from Northwest Georgia, a big Auburn fan. So
appreciate it, man.
God bless you.
Weekend as well.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Let's all get upset together. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, sir. But my dad used to work for the guys that was a big contributor to the Auburn University football, and I was told that the normal punt returner that was supposed to go back, Keontae Scott, was actually tired or something. That was the reason he didn't go back on a fourth down.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go back and watch that third and 8, 3rd and 10 beforehand, when Alabama's quarterback goes down, his knee goes down before he tosses that ball forward. And if you review that play, give him time to take a break, do you think they would bring him back in for the return instead of putting more
Yeah, look,
there?
I've seen reports. Hugh Freeze said that he had a hurt shoulder. Here's what I'll say. I was a special teams coordinator. I've seen guys that play, that start, that are punt returners, be so tired that they're like, I'm worried something's going to go wrong because I'm so gassed right now. Because it's a quick change, right? It's a quick turnaround with there's no review. If he was tired and there was a review, I think he would have been fine. Here's my problem with it. My problem isn't that the backup punt returner was out there. If the kid was hurt, if the kid was too tired to go, I've seen this happen before. My problem is nobody told the head coach that the backup punt returner was out there. They both have the same number. This is the way it works on a sideline. I don't care if it's the right guard. I don't care if it's the backup corner. Every time there's an injury, the medical people evaluate him. communicate that to either the position coach, the coordinator, or whoever that then communicates it to the head coach. The head coach has to know about all injuries. Because because Hugh Freeze did not know in the press conference that was Coy Moore, that's like saying Voldemort to me right now. And we can get upset, say, oh, don't bash the kids. This is the NIL era. You talked a lot of ish and you blew it when it mattered. You can cry about it all you want. This is the real world. All right, coach has to say that. I get that. I understand that. But the fact that nobody told the head coach that against Alabama in the biggest game of the year and the biggest punt return of the year, that the starting punt returner wasn't back there, that's what worries me. I'm not worried about Auburn not being able to tackle Jalen Milroe yet. I'm not worried about Auburn having worse players than Alabama yet. I'm worried about the things you can control and the communication not being good on the sideline. There's too much fear for me as a special teams guy to not tell the head coach. Like that, there must be no fear there, or not enough respect there. I would be scared to death to just say, you know what? Don't worry against Alabama. It's not like you're up 38 against Wyoming State or Bishop Sycamore. This is the Iron Bowl. You got a chance to win. And the head coach, what if the head coach didn't feel good about the backup punt returner and said, you know what? Let's just let the ball hit. Mm-hmm. You have to give him that option. Even if the option is, that's fine. Put the backup punt returner out there and he drops the ball. Then the head coach knew you went through every protocol, you went through every channel, and that's right. That's just how the cookie crumbled. But you didn't tell him? I don't care if he's tired, injured, transferring, abducted. The head coach needs to know. Like that's the way it worked. This would never happen at Georgia. It would never happen at Alabama. It would never happen at Michigan. And Michigan didn't even have their head coach last game.
It rarely happens in high school.
Yeah, like that's what worries me. And I know Hugh Freeze is going to get the job done. Hell, I advocated for him to get it. That I mean, I'm not going to tell the truth when Auburn screws up or blows it. I mean, it's just that it is what it is, Christian. I couldn't believe that when I heard that. That's what worries me.
Thanks for calling, Christian.
Hey, War Eagle, Christian.
I appreciate y'all.
Hold down Northwest Georgia for us.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right, let's get to bets. The markers are on back order. They're special markers.
Back order?
Not invisible.
Markers are on back order?
Yeah, I know. Turley, that's what you said, right?
Yes, there's supply chain issues, guys.
Supply chain.
I don't make rules.
Most Americans didn't even know what a supply chain was before the marker issue. All right, here's what we got. Bets for today. If you get that joke, it's funny. All right, bets for today went 1-1 last night. The over hit in the Kentucky
it did.
Miami game, David. Congrats, because Kentucky dropped a 95 piece. It's weird seeing Kentucky play well early in the year with what we've seen. Here's what I'm going with tonight. We got the ACC SEC Challenge. All right, give me North Carolina on the money line at home against Tennessee. Sorry, that's a dirty minus 130. And you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to actually bet on Auburn in something, because I feel like I need to, and I feel like I can in basketball. But right now, guys, I cannot find. Here we go. Give me Auburn -9 at home against Virginia Tech. So that's North Carolina money line, minus 130 at home against Tennessee. Give me Auburn -9 in the jungle. It's basketball season now. After that Iron Bowl, come on, Bruce.
You're taking North Carolina money line?
Money line, yeah.
Okay, I'm taking Tennessee +2 minus 110. So we could both hit.
We could both hit.
We could both hit. And I'm going to take James Madison -21.5 minus 115.
Wagon.
I love it. Give me Virginia Tech money line. It's going off at +330.
Really?
Yep.
I got it 360 on here.
Cool. It's going off at +360.
Xbox.
Makes it even better. And then give me the Lakers to cover -7.
First NBA bet. First NBA bet. Somebody ring the bell.
I want to bet football.
Somebody ring the bell. All right. Let's get to donos.
Let's go to Jonah Greaser with a $2 donation. Appreciate it, Jonah.
Greasy
Which
Jonah.
ex-Pac-12 team will do the best next year?
Ex-Pac-12? Utah. Cam Rising coming back. Going to the Big 12.
The ex-Pac-12 team?
Yes, David.
Do the best where?
In football.
In the Big Ten? Sorry, I missed the question.
Which ex-Pac-12 team will do the best next year?
I'm going to Utah, Big 12.
Yeah, I like Utah with Cam Rising coming back. And then also, I like Oregon going to the Big Ten.
I love it.
Bo Nix back for his 17th year?
17th year.
Focused, even more focused.
Let's go to Trey Bodenhammer with the $2 donation. 4th and goal from the 31.
No.
Hashtag roll tide.
No.
Trey, I hope you get a flat tire on the way.
Yeah, Trey, now I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Now I'm actually legitimately upset.
Yeah, whatever. MH06 with a $2 donation. Will Auburn fire Monty, and who could they go get?
Here's my thing. Hugh Freeze calling the plays. Obviously, you don't need Montgomery. Go get a recruiter. Go get a recruiter. Go get the best offense. Go get Damian Craig. I'm dead serious. Go get Damian Craig from A&M. Cam Coleman will come. You don't need Phillip Montgomery, right? You know how to call the plays, Hugh. You witched it up. This man had his chance. It was trash. I'm sorry.
Let's go to Airborne Chubby. Just $20 donation. What a name.
Where's Saggy Nips at?
Love the show. Can't wait to watch Lady Ballers Friday. Love that. Any thoughts on also adding some NHL segments near?
We're going to. We're trying to.
Love for some tough-ass, toothless mullet, heron wearing fellas.
Yeah, there was a great fight the other night. We're going to get into NHL, college basketball, all that stuff. Let's get through conference championship week. We'll know who's in the playoff. Obviously, we have the Bulls. That's when we really go Greg Louganis and dive into everything else.
Took the mother to the Preds game last night, and they ended up pulling out in overtime.
Really?
Yeah.
How was that?
We took our mother to see a Predator.
Don't make it weird.
Wow.
You already rated a guy on the show.
It was a girl, you psychopath.
That's okay. I said it was a dude. So.
No, I was asking questions.
No, you were making statements. Let's go to Will Hewitt with a $5 donation. What's up, Willie? Lady Ballers look so funny.
Yes.
McKay and Apatow vibes, which is awesome.
Yes.
Y'all are the best. Go Dogs.
Slick Willie. Thank you.
All right, let's go to Mike RFF. It's a lifestyle, baby, with the $5 donation. What's up, guys? Been busy to chat, but still watch. Any thoughts or coverage on college hoops? Who you liking? And any well-known witches?
Yeah, there's a bunch. There's a bunch. I mean, you got that thing walking around in Purdue right now. Just, you want to know who it is? Walk outside and look up. It's Return of Titan, whatever that anime is. We're going to get into all that. We're going to give you a rapid-fire of college hoops. Y'all know, if you've ever watched this show before, we get deep into college basketball. The first thing we ever did was go to the Final Four on a bus.
There's the poster right there.
There it is right there. Right, and look, who was there? Right, Villanova, Duke, Kansas, and North Carolina. Who'd have thought?
Let's go to Heartbroken Hog for the last donation of the day with the $2 dono. Appreciate it. Thoughts on the Razorbacks playing at home versus the Dukies?
What's the line on that game? I just actually went by
5.5.
All right, Duke?
Hold on,
I'm pulling it up right here.
Thought it was. Yeah. Baby Cone's taking Arkansas plus 5.5, minus 112, and USC tonight, minus 17.5.
Give me Arkansas money line.
You like that?
We're big Musselman people.
The Must Bus?
The Must Bus. All right, let's get to the poll.
No, we don't got to. It's fine. Let's just end the show.
What's the poll?
What is the poll?
Who's the best looking girl?
Yeah, Blaine.
David, Blaine, or Jake?
Blaine is 90%.
Let it be Blaine. 71%.
What? Jake, 22%.
Good.
David, 38%.
Good.
Blaine, 41%.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's about right.
You're so pretty, Blaney.
It was such an easy
I'm just a good-looking
for
person,
you.
man.
That's one where it's like, yeah, you don't really.
Yeah, you definitely look like a chick.
I'm just a good-looking person. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Get it?
Get like
get it. They
persona
get it.
non grata.
They get it. Don't worry about it. They get it. Do your little
yeah,
thing.
they do. Yeah, they do.
The little thing you do.
They get that you look like you most look like a woman.
Hey,
we appreciate.
You rate
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check out Lady Ballers December 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
And like the chances of Blaine being a much better looking girl than a guy, we're going.
Good catch.
Gone. Well, yeah, for a dude.
Too late.